What's good, Commanders fans? Coming here with a video for you guys today, man. It's been a while. It's been about 8 or 9 days since I made a video. It's been super high. That's not why I haven't made a video, but it is the off season. It is some of the dog days of the off season right now. So I just want to talk about. I do this every year, like 5 ways the defense improved, 5 ways the offense improved. So I'm gonna do 3 this year. I'm gonna do 3 ways instead of 5. And then, of course, I'm gonna talk about Bieniemy just a little bit. The Bieniemy rumor or news, not really rumor. Sam Cosmi came out and said this in an interview. I know a couple of people already made a video about this, but I'm gonna talk about it a little bit too. I'm not gonna talk about it for like 10 minutes or anything like that because I know you guys have already heard takes on it and stuff like that. And we want to move on from the past. So I get it. There's a lot of Eric Bieniemy fans out there. Every time I make a video about Eric Bieniemy or talk about Eric Bieniemy, there are some people that definitely get turned up about it or revved up about the situation or about him and defend him a lot. So it is what it is on that part. But like I said, I know the past is the past, and anytime I talk about the past, people get upset about that too. But you have to look at your past to improve, and there's no way you can get better if you don't look at your past. You can learn from the past. I know it's a new regime and all that. So like I said, I do. This is probably the last video I'll ever make about Bieniemy or anybody from the past regime for sure. Or really talking about the past regime. All right, so let's get to ways we improve. A positive thing. Oh, and Brandon Aiyuk news. I probably will make a separate video about Aiyuk. I know I'm super late on that because there's a lot of smoke to it. Now I know Jaden Daniels and Brandon Aiyuk, they took a selfie, or Jaden Daniels took a selfie, and Brandon Aiyuk, of course, was right next to him. They were in Tyson's Corner Mall, allegedly, which is in Virginia, of course. A lot of the local people here who watch my channel know about Tyson's Corner. So it's not a bad mall. It's a pretty big mall. You know, it's a decent, nice-sized mall for sure. I mean, I think it's something to look at. It's something to think about now. I know Ryan Clark on ESPN did say that Brandon Aiyuk is meeting with the 49ers today. So they might make a decision. They might come to an agreement. They might make a contract agreement or whatever. That might happen today. That might happen minutes after I make this video. We may see an extension done or something like, or a couple days after he gets traded. Now, I wouldn't mind Brandon Aiyuk. Like I said, I'll talk about this separately on a different video. But I wouldn't mind them bringing Brandon Aiyuk in. I'm not banging on the table for Brandon Aiyuk, but Jaden Daniels, Brandon Aiyuk, clearly they have chemistry. Clearly they're best buds. They've been on FaceTime together multiple times. They were on FaceTime a couple days before the draft. And they've been seen together multiple times. Over a span of time. And of course, the Brandon Aiyuk connection with Adam Peters. So it's a lot of connections for sure. So, and we definitely could use another receiver. I love Terry. I love Jahan. We don't know what we're going to get from Luke. So the third guy, we just don't know. If Aiyuk comes in here, he's clearly number 2. It's him and Terry. Him and Terry are 1A, 1B. And then after that is Jahan. He's 1C or wide receiver number 3. And we would have a heck of a receiving core. We probably have the best receiving core in the NFC East. Arguably a top 2, top 3, top 5 receiving core for sure. No questions asked about it. Top 5 receiving core in the league for sure. You could argue possibly the best if we get really good quarterback play from Jaden Daniels. Just the offensive line is a huge question mark. All right, let's get back to what I made the video for. Is the 3 ways the defense improve. The biggest part is the linebacking core. I mean, wow, like it's crazy to think of where we came from last year with the likes of David Mayo. John Bostic was on the team a couple years ago. Kevin Pierre-Louis was like the best linebacker on the team at one point. We had Thomas Davis, who was at the end of his career. Cole Holcomb was like a great linebacker for us because we just didn't see a lot of good linebacker play. So Jamin Davis has been up and down and consistent. Now we're going to move him most likely to pass rusher or hybrid pass rusher and linebacker, really taking some real legitimate snaps at that edge rushing position. So we've just come a long way here getting these guys in here. Even the draft pick Jordan McGee, man, he's projected to be a darn good player. I mean, he's talented. He's already getting reps with the first team, making impact plays in practice. A 5th round pick, and Adam Peters, who believes in the linebacker position. He saw what he did with the Niners with Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw. Mike Clay for ESPN has us with the best linebacking core in the league. Now, I know it's hard to say that because they haven't played with each other yet, but Bobby Wagner, man, I mean, to bring him in, his leadership, tackling machine, stopping the run. Of course, he's not the greatest in coverage, but I mean, he still had a darn good year last year. Frankie Louvu, 20 pressures last year, 7 sacks. 80 PFF grade and a 90.1 pass rush grade as well. He's been a vocal leader already. Joe Witt Jr. has raved about Frankie Louvu, talking about how competitive he is. Bobby Wagner, I mean, enough said about him. Super Bowl champ, All-Pro, multi-time All-Pro, perennial Pro Bowl linebacker. I mean, these guys are going to be vocal leaders on the defense, flying around, stopping the run, getting to the quarterback, and wreaking havoc and playing that physical football that Joe Witt Jr. talks about constantly. You look at one game for Frankie Louvu against the Saints. He rushed the passer 13 times against the Saints and finished with 2 sacks and 2 quarterback hurries. That is super efficient, man. That's efficient football. He was PFF's #1 graded linebacker as a pass rusher as well. So this guy gets to the football. Ball is life. And he forced 2 fumbles last year, which was tied 5th among linebackers at his position. So 84 tackles, 38 assists for Frankie Louvu. I mean, this guy is flying around. And he was a steal, man, of free agents. He was the best linebacker in free, other than really him and Bobby Wagner. They were the top 2 linebackers in free agency last year. The top 2, top 5, top 2, top linebackers in free agency last year. So I mean, a huge upgrade from where we came from Cody Barton, David Mayo, and all those guys, and Bostic and all those guys, Compare Louis, and Jamin Davis is still on the roster. And then we have Jabril Cox. You know, he's on the practice squad, but, you know, we'll see if he makes the roster or not. And I even like the guy we got from the Steelers, Michael Walker. He's made an impact on other teams. He's made an impact on the Steelers. He had a pick 6 on Cam Newton with the Falcons. So even the depth of guys that we have can make an impact this year. And I love that with a passion. We got guys that can fly around. I guess the biggest question mark you can kind of say is like coverage a little bit with Bobby Wagner and Louvu, but other than that, these guys stop the run and they get to the quarterback. I mean, Bobby Wagner had a 3% missed tackle percentage this season, which was tied for first among linebackers in the NFL. So I mean, it's just crazy numbers. 6 quarterback hits, 91.5 run defense grade per PFF, second among linebackers for Bobby Wagner, and 82.4 overall PFF grade for Bobby Wagner as well. So I mean, just a stud, man. And he's like another coach out there, man. 48 stops in the run game, which was second in the NFL as well. I mean, you look at the numbers and the things that he's done. I mean, you compare it to London Fletcher. I mean, that's the kind of production that I feel like we're going to get from Bobby Wagner. Just London Fletcher-esque, where London Fletcher was just all heart. Wasn't the fastest guy in the world, but he had speed to him, would tackle, wouldn't miss a tackle, would force fumbles, get interceptions, make plays, was a vocal leader, the loudest guy on the field. Another quarterback out there, and they're going to make Jamin Davis better too. That's the one thing. That's another thing that I'm looking at too. I think they're going to make Jamin better. They're going to make Jordan McGee better. They're going to make Michael Walker better. They're going to make this core better. They're going to make this linebacking core better. So I'm intrigued to see what these guys do. I'm just excited to see what these guys do with the linebacker position. All right, another guy is I'm gonna go with defensive tackle depth. I know Johnny Jerzon Newton he's been out in practice, but I do think when he finally gets healthy, when he gets on the field, he's going to make Daron Payne better. He's going to make Jonathan Allen better. Just giving these guys a break. I mean, that's going to be huge, man. John Allen, Daron Payne, they played so many snaps last year. So many snaps. The last couple of years, they played so many snaps where they barely got a break. These guys are going to be fresh. They can just come in and pin their ears back and rush the passer. Johnny Newton, I've already gone over the numbers. His pass rush numbers, his pass rush win rate, the pass rush moves that he has, the repertoire that he has, the hand usage, the footwork, the speed, the get off, the explosiveness that Johnny Jerzon Newton has. I mean, he's going to push these guys and make these guys better too. Where they, like I said, they can take a break. They don't have to play 99% of the snaps. They can come in. John Ridgeway can come in too and play. F.A. Obata still on the roster. So, and then Fedarian Mathis, they'll fit him in somewhere. He can get in where he can fit in. But Jerzon Newton, if he can stay healthy, man, and I there are some red flags and concerns now. Is that the reason why he dropped out of the first round and fell to us? Is there a reason why the other team took Mike Ariro or whoever the guy's name is because of the foot injury and the concerns of the foot injury? So, and both feet. It wasn't just that one foot, but it's the other foot too. So, if this guy can be healthy and stay healthy, we have a force to be reckoned with our defensive tackle or rotation, man. And I'm excited for that too. So, just he's gonna make those guys better. And they're gonna teach him tricks of the trade too and make him better too. So I'm excited just for that defense getting to the quarterback. All right, number 3 is Mike Sainristil, slot corner. The last time we had a legit slot corner was Kendall Fuller when he played the slot. Now I did like Danny Johnson. They tried Rashad Wildgoose. They tried a bunch of guys at the slot. You know, Cam Curl played slot a little bit too, but you know he was more of a safety hybrid linebacker. But we just had a lot of rotational guys. Bobby McCain was playing slot corner at one point. So we have a legit guy who's coming in to actually play the slot corner position. I'm not going to say he's small, but he's lean, and he's not scared to come up and tackle. Nick Saban said he was the pound for pound best player in the draft, possibly. Chris Sims said in a couple years he could be the best nickel slot corner in the league. Joe Klatt talked about how good Mike Samry still as well. He had him in the top 50, number 49 in his grade. Or the number 49 player in his draft board. He said Mike Samuelson reminds me, this is not a direct comparison, but in terms of their ability to play freely and roam and be a nuance for the offense, Joe Klatt says that he reminds me he's in the same vein as, although not a direct comparison, like an Ed Reed or a Honey Badger, end quote. You look at Mike Samuelson, he had 6 picks last year. 6 picks. 2 picks against the University of Maryland, which hurt my heart, of course, because I'm a Terps fan. But he had 2 picks against the Terps. 1 interception in the national championship game against Washington on Michael Penix, who was, a top 10 pick for the Falcons. And this guy just makes plays. He has a knack for getting the football. Ball is life, like Joe Witt Jr. always says. Ball is life. And this he gets the football. He's not scared to come up and tackle. He's super physical in the run game. He'll come up and tackle, like I said, on screen plays, screen passes, and he plays bigger than his size. So just has the heart of a lion. And this guy's a dog. Everybody says he's a dog. Everybody who watches Mikey Samry still just says he's a dog. They just say he's a dog all the time. So I'm excited to see what we get from him. Finally have a legitimate slot corner on the team as well. So I'm excited to see what they do with him there to hype up this defense. And of course, it's easy to just say coaching. Joe Witt Jr., Dan Quinn. You see what these guys have done with Dallas. And I think they're going to make Jamin Davis better. I think they have a plan for him, bringing in Dorrance Armstrong. We'll see what they do with him. Dante Fowler, they have a rotation of guys. Now, we don't have one guy that really stands out, like a dominant pass rusher, I feel like, or a star pass rusher or anything like that. But they have a rotation of guys that they have a plan to get to the quarterback. And I'm excited to see that. They're going to force turnovers. Ball is like, they have a jugs machine in practice. They got another jugs machine in practice just for the defense to help those guys catch the ball better. And you saw what Quan Martin already did in practice with that behind the back catch. So it's already getting there, and you see guys taking it to heart and putting it on the field already in practice. So I'm excited to see what this coaching staff does with this defense. So all right, let's talk about Eric Bieniemy real quick here, and then we will wrap this up. Adam Schefter said the same thing. 49ers disgruntled wide receiver Brandon Aiyuk is meeting with the 49ers today as Ryan Clark reported on NFL Live. All right, Eric Bieniemy. All right, so Sam Cosmi said that they could not wear their hats backwards, and it's funny because Dan Quinn, all he does is wear his hat backwards. If you look at UCLA, which was years ago, Eric Bieniemy wore his hat backwards on the sideline too. Now people change and stuff like that. He's not the only coach that has done that. Somebody under the comments, a football player, said that in New York they had to do the same thing. They couldn't wear their hat backwards. They had to wear their hat forwards. Me personally, I couldn't care less. I don't think it makes you win football games or not, but maybe Sam Cosmi, it made him feel some type of way. Who knows? Maybe he likes to wear his hat backwards, and it just made him feel uncomfortable. But Sam Cosmi had a good year last year. Like, he was one of the best guards in the league last year. I mean, he's projected to be like a Pro Bowl player this year, possibly an All-Pro, one of the best guards in the NFL. So he had a good year on Eric Bieniemy. Now, one thing I'll say about Eric Bieniemy to wrap it up on him is, to really close the door on him, is that I know when they asked him about, they interviewed Eric Bieniemy at UCLA, and they were like, did you get fired or something like that? Or they were like, I forgot what they asked him about Dan Quinn. They said Dan Quinn said just let him know they wasn't working, and Eric Bieniemy acted like he didn't know what they were talking about, something like that. He just wanted to move on. He didn't want to answer any questions about the Commanders or anything like that, which I understand. He's moving on as well. Now, I will say that when Jacoby Brissett came in the game, he did a decent job. The offense looked like a legitimate offense, and he had a couple good games. Both Eagles games were good. The Broncos second half was good. The Cardinals game was pretty awful throughout the whole game. The Bills game was bad, play calling. Just dropping Sam back way too many times, getting them punch drunk. Most pass attempts in the league by far, most sacks in the league by far. It was just ridiculous by him. Not running the football, not getting the ball to B-Rob, not getting the ball to Terry. Jahan Dotson playing tight. And just didn't look comfortable out there. Just didn't look comfortable. Even B-Rob said there was a disconnect between the coaching staff, and I think that was Eric Bieniemy included for sure. And even coaches, there was an article that came out that assistant coaches were complaining about the long practice times. Now, the easy thing is to say that players are soft and all that stuff, but they just didn't connect with Eric Bieniemy. They just didn't. And in today's age, you got to connect with your players. You have to adapt and have some type of chemistry and cohesiveness. You know, even when the seasons before in training camp, Ron Rivera kind of came out and snitched or came in and said that, told the media or players came to him that there were some things they didn't like about Eric Bieniemy or something like that. They had some concerns, and then when that came out, I just knew it was going to go downhill from there. You know, when things like that come out, and Ron Rivera clearly just leaks information that didn't have to be leaked, I just knew it was going to be downhill from there. But Eric Bieniemy, he was pretty disappointed. I'm not going to lie to you. Throwing the ball way too much, not establishing a run game, not getting the ball to Terry, not getting the ball out quick, dropping him back so much, predictable plays. It was just really disappointing. It really was disappointing. And I remember a lot of people, myself included, thought he was going to come and save this team and make this offense so much better, and it just didn't happen that way. Sam Howell, some of it is on him for holding the ball too long, but some of it is on Bieniemy too, not getting his best player to football and Terry McLaurin as well. LaShawn McCoy, he had some stuff to say, and dog cussing the players and not adapt to the players. Maybe there's some truth to what LaShawn McCoy had to say. Maybe there's some truth to it. But the 4th and 1 deep pass against Dallas. I remember an assistant, a coordinator wanted to fight Bieniemy in that game on Thanksgiving, and I wanted to fight Bieniemy too, because on 4th and 1, why are you throwing a 30-yard pass down the field on 4th and 1 against Dallas? It was ridiculous. But that's it about Bieniemy, man. Like I said, I'm not going to take too much time on this, but the whole hat backwards thing, I think there's more to the story on that. But he just wasn't able to adapt to the guys. He just wasn't able to adapt to the guys and get the best out of the guys and get the best out of the players at all. He just wasn't able to do it. So it was a very disappointing story for him. I wish him the best, and it's unfortunate he didn't even get a job in the NFL. That's kind of telling. Not even an assistant coach, not an offensive coordinator, or wide receivers, not a running backs coach. He didn't get anything in the NFL. Nothing. So he didn't get anything else. There was one reported interview that he got. Josina Anderson reported it, but Eric Bieniemy, man, anything we get from Andy Reid, man, I don't know what it is. Donovan McNabb and guys like that, it just doesn't work out. It just doesn't work out. Anything from Andy Reid, we just don't want to take it anymore. There's a reason why other teams didn't want to pursue Eric Bieniemy. Eric Bieniemy would be good with another team, like with a Pat Mahomes, of course, and a veteran leader, but with a young quarterback, you don't want Eric Bieniemy coaching up a young quarterback. It's the last thing you want to do. He's going to drop him back, get him punch drunk, and 50 sacks. So that's what you're going to get from Eric Bieniemy. So, all right, you guys let me know what you guys think. Health Commanders, peace.